Ahlan wa sahlan wa marhaban. So today we are going to take a look at the executive regulations of the law on real estate ownership by non-Saudis. In this document we will find the practical steps that need to be taken, that you need to take to actually own real estate in Saudi Arabia. It's going to be very detailed, like step number 1 you need to do this, step number 2 you need to do this, all the way up until you purchase real estate in Saudi. So this draft was published on the Istitla platform on July 28th. What is Istitla platform? First of all, the Istitla portal is an official Saudi government platform used to publish draft laws and regulations for public consultation before they are finalized. So it allows individuals and companies to review the proposed legislation and submit their feedback. So as you can see, it's been 10 days approximately, and in the English version of the website there's one suggestion, but if you go to the Arabic version of this website there's more than 30 suggestions to these regulations. 31. So by the end of this period, in 20 days inshallah, they're going to finalize this document. They might put a few changes based on these suggestions, but most of it's going to be preserved inshallah, and we're going to take a look right now into this draft, what to expect from this law, and it's going to be very, very beneficial inshallah. So the document was published in the Arabic version of the website. If you go to the English version of this website, you won't find this document because it was never translated into English. It's all in Arabic, and when you click on the file you get this file that's all in Arabic, and this is why I took it upon myself to translate this document into English as usually. So we will be looking into the English version of this draft. And before we get into that, as usually I just suggest to subscribe to my social media channels if you're actually interested in the real estate of Saudi Arabia, because you will find a lot of exclusive information. I've been living in Saudi Arabia for the last 6 years. I've been studying in the Islamic University of Medina. So I'm on the ground. I will be going to the actual real estate properties. I'll be making videos. I'll be giving you the information that you won't find anywhere else. Just I've been doing that in the field of the education of Saudi Arabia. Perhaps some of you may know me, that I've been providing the same service, but in the field of the education of Saudi Arabia. Thousands and thousands of people apply to Saudi universities based on the information I provided, and now I'm doing the same but in the real estate field. So if you're actually interested in the real estate of Saudi Arabia, feel free. There's YouTube channel, Telegram channel, WhatsApp channel, X page. And now we're going to get into this draft. Well, the first article starts with the definitions. What is this law? The law for non-Saudis ownership of real estate. What are the regulations? What's the authority that's in charge of all of this? It's the General Real Estate Authority. They're in charge of making all these regulations, and they're in charge of the whole operation of real estate for the foreigners. Geographic scope. What is that? As I mentioned in the previous video, if you didn't watch it, you might watch it. I explain these things, but let me do it again. The area or region within the territory of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia where ownership of real estate or acquisition of other real property rights is permitted. Meaning that you won't be able to buy real estate in any place you want. It's not working like that, at least in the beginning. There's going to be only certain areas where the real estate is going to be available for the foreigners. What's outside of that geographic scope is mostly available to the nationals of Saudi Arabia, to Saudi citizens, and some other categories, but mostly for Saudis. So you will only be able to buy the property in certain areas. These areas haven't been published yet, but I visited their official website, the Riga website, Real Estate General Authority website, and it's going to be published soon, as it was stated on their official website. So inshallah we'll see it soon, all these geographic scopes in Riyadh, in Jeddah, in Mecca and Medina, and other cities of Saudi Arabia inshallah. Digital identity. What is a digital identity? A digital identity document issued by the Ministry of Interior that includes verified identification data used to confirm a person's identity and to authenticate transactions. So basically anybody who wants to own real estate in Saudi Arabia, they will need to get this digital identity. I'll get into that later, inshallah, with more details. Legal representative, approved electronic payment methods. I think this is clear. Article number 2. Article 2, procedures for non-Saudis to own real estate. As I mentioned, it's going to be very practical. You take a look at this and it's going to be very clear. For a non-Saudi to own real estate, acquire other real property rights, or dispose of such property. Dispose meaning that you will sell it, you will transfer the ownership to somebody else as a gift or something else. That's what's meant by dispose. A valid identity issued in accordance with the kingdom's regulations required. So basically, in Saudi Arabia, by the way, Saudi Arabia in the field of IT is very, very advanced. So in Saudi Arabia, if you sell a car, if you sell a house, anything, just recently I bought a car, you need to have an official valid identity that's linked to you. So nationals, they have their national ID, that's called al-Hawiyya al-Wataniyya. Residents, they have their own identity. So I have my own number because I'm a resident of Saudi Arabia. And foreigners will need to get this ID number before they buy or sell anything from the real estate in Saudi Arabia. So this is going to be the very first step. You will need to get this ID in Saudi Arabia. What is the procedure? Inshallah, if you subscribe to my channel, I will publish it in details as soon as the official organization publishes it. As of now, they didn't put it in place, but it's going to be published in the future, inshallah. Okay, after you got your ID, what is the next step? The authority shall establish an electronic portal for non-Saudis to own real estate or acquire other real property rights. This portal shall be linked to the real estate registry, and access to the platform shall be through the national single sign-on platform. So they will put this electronic portal in place for you to be able to get this ID in the future. That's what it means. And all financial transactions related to the ownership of real estate or the acquisition of the other real property rights must be conducted through the approved electronic payment methods in the kingdom. So you will get this ID, and anything you do, selling or buying real estate or transferring the ownership to somebody else, leasing, anything is going to be done through your ID number on the Abshir platform, on the official platform. Okay, that's I think clear. Article number 3, ownership of residential property by non-Saudis of natural status. Okay, this one is about the spouse, ascendants and descendants of a non-Saudi whom the non-Saudi supports. Basically, it means that shall be considered dependents for the purpose of owning residential property in accordance with paragraph number 3 of article number 2 of the law. None of them may independently own residential property unless dependency is no longer present, as evidenced by official documents recognized in the kingdom. Basically, let's say you have a family, you have a wife that's dependent on you, and 4 kids, they're all dependent on you, and then you decide to buy real estate under the name of each of your dependents. It's not going to be possible. That's the meaning of this article. You will only be able to buy it under your name. And paragraph number 2, marital status and dependency for ascendants and descendants shall be proven through documents approved in the kingdom. Okay, this is not that interesting. They're just trying to avoid any speculations from certain individuals when they will try to buy, to build a portfolio of the real estate, but not under their name, under the name of their dependents, etc. Okay, article number 4, requirements for implementing the provisions of the law on non-resident non-Saudis. A non-Saudi individual who is not residing in the kingdom must fulfill the following before owning real estate or acquiring other real property rights. Okay, this is very interesting. So what do you need to do to actually own the real estate? Now it tells you what to do. A, obtain and activate a digital identity through the Ministry of Interior's Abshir platform. As I mentioned before, that's the very first thing you will need to do. You will need to get this ID number that's going to be linked to you directly, and with this number, inshallah, you will be able to log into the Abshir platform. And as I've mentioned, Abshir platform is the platform where everything that's linked to you is shown. I bought a car, I logged into my Abshir, and I purchased the car through the Abshir. And the guy who sold the car to me, he logged into his Abshir platform, and he transferred the ownership of the car to me. So this is how it works in this country. Driving license, anything, it's all on the Abshir. So it's a very, very unique platform that's established in Saudi Arabia. Even when I got my COVID vaccination, it was shown on the Abshir platform. So you will be selling, you will be buying, you will be transferring the ownership and the lease, everything through the Abshir platform, and you will need the ID number for that. So that's the first thing. Secondly, you will need to open a bank account within the kingdom. Thirdly, you will need to obtain a Saudi contact number registered under the holder of the digital identity. So you will get this digital ID, and you will go to any company, phone number company. I mean, these operators like Mobile Zain, they will sell you a phone number. You will link it to your ID number on the Abshir. Again, it's going to be very, very clear if you subscribe to my channels, because I will be talking about it in length. I will make videos about it. And after you got your ID number, you got a bank account, you got a phone number that's linked to your ID, then after that, after that you will be able to purchase real estate in Saudi Arabia. Okay, the relevant authorities shall verify the identity of holder in all actions related to real estate transactions in accordance with approved regulations and controls. I don't know if it sounds hard for you, if it sounds easy for you, but I can tell you that it's very easy. I've done all these steps as a resident of Saudi Arabia. I got my ID number, I linked it to my phone number on Abshir, I have a bank account. It's all easy to do. If it looks to be hard, don't worry, it's actually easy. Article number 5, ownership of real estate by Saudi companies for business operations and employee housing. So article number 4 was about individuals, and article number 5 is about companies. It's kind of the same. You know, the companies, they can also purchase the real estate within the geographic scope and outside the geographic scope for the activity that they have in the country. So I think we'll just keep it. Basically, it's the same. They will have ID, and they will be able to log in and receive the ownership or sell something through the platform, through the official platform. It's all the same, with the exceptions that they have more rights to purchase the real estate outside the geographic scope. Okay, article number 6, geographic scope modifications. Any modification to the geographic scope shall not prejudice any real property rights acquired by a non-Saudi. The most favorable interpretation for the non-Saudi shall be applied in all cases. What does it mean? It means that, let's say, in January 2026, when the law takes effect, and they made all these geographic scopes, you go into this area where they sell property and you buy it. And then 3 months later, they cancel that geographic scope. They say, okay, we're not selling real estate anymore in this particular place. Does it mean that what you purchased before is going to be affected somehow? No. If you bought your real estate in the geographic scope and then they cancel this geographic scope for the foreigners, you will still own this property. That's it. So basically, they protect your rights as their owner. Article number 7, registration of a non-Saudi company. Let's just go through this. Before a non-Saudi company can own real estate or acquire other real property rights, it must register with the Ministry of Investment, disclose the direct name, the indirect owners of the company, open a bank account within the kingdom. Upon approval, the Ministry of Investment shall issue a registration number for the entity. The non-Saudi company must update any material changes in capital of ownership. The authority, in coordination with the Ministry of Investment, shall issue a procedure guide for registering a non-Saudi company. So this is all for the companies, and again, the procedure is very similar to the individuals. They will just have their own number, and they will also be able to purchase real estate. Article number 8, we'll just skip it. It's about non-Saudi non-profit entities. Basically, it's educational entities or charitable organizations. This article is for them. I don't think it's relevant to us. Article number 9, investment by non-Saudi is in real property rights. A non-Saudi may invest in real property rights after fulfilling the requirements of the investment law and obtaining the necessary licenses. There's such thing as investment license, and again, I don't think it's that much relevant to us. I don't want to make this video too long, otherwise I would dwell on this a little bit more. And let's just get to the article number 10, because this is a very, very important piece of the information. This is new. It hasn't been mentioned before. It's mentioned for the first time. It says that the fee for non-Saudis' disposal of real property rights in the kingdom shall be calculated as a percentage of the value of the real property right, accordingly to the following. What does it mean? Let's say you purchased real estate in Saudi Arabia in one of these cities, and then you decide to sell it. Then you have to pay a fee. That's basically what this article says, or the article states. Let's say if you buy an apartment in the Riyadh city, and then after a while you decide to sell it or gift it or anything else, you will have to pay a fee if it's a residential unit. If it's a residential unit, you'll have to pay a fee 2.5% to the government, meaning that let's say you sell something for 1 million riyals. 2.5%, how much is that? It's 25,000 riyals, right? So you will sell it, but 25,000 riyals have to go to the government. 2.5%, not that bad. But if it's a commercial unit, industrial unit, or agricultural unit, you don't have to pay any fees. You just sell it. In Jeddah, it's the same, 2.5%. In Mecca and Medina, again, it's all the same. So if you have an apartment and you decide to sell it, you will need to pay 2.5% fee to the government. There's special economic cities and zones. It's the opposite. If you sell a residential unit in those special cities and zones, you probably heard of such projects as Neom and the Line and some other projects. So if you sell a residential unit in those areas, you don't have to pay any fees. But the opposite, if you sell a commercial unit, then you have to pay 2.5% fee to the government. As for other cities of the kingdom, there's other cities in Saudi Arabia, Abha, Dammam, and Jazan, and many other cities. If you sell real estate in those cities, then you don't pay any fees, which is actually good. It's only 2.5%. I was comparing to Dubai and other places. It's actually not bad. It's good. And in article number 11, they explain what type of real estate can be sold with a 0% fee. Let's just quickly go through some of them because it's not that interesting, but still, let's just go through it. A real estate transaction executed pursuant to a final court judgment or an order issued by a competent judicial authority. Let's say there's a company in Saudi Arabia and they went bankrupt and they have some property and they need to pay off their debts. Then the government can sell this property with a 0% fee so that these debts can be paid off. Something like this. This is just one situation. A real estate transaction resulting from expropriation for public benefit or temporary seizure of the property in accordance with regulations and directives. This one is interesting. A real estate transaction in which the property is returned to the non-Saudi owner who previously disposed of it, provided this occurs within 90 days from the date of documenting the initial transaction, and without any change in the property description or the agreed financial consideration. So if somebody sold a piece of property, who's obviously a foreigner, and then this piece of property was returned to them, then the fee is going to be 0%. Article number 12 is about inspection. If somebody violates any laws, if somebody tries to speculate, then obviously they're going to investigate that. Article number 13 is about notification methods. So all the notifications are going to be done through text messages sent to a verified mobile phone number, email, accounts registered in any government electronic systems, registered mail. So this is how they're going to get in contact with you. I think this is obvious. And the last two articles are very, very interesting. Article number 14, final provisions. The authority shall prepare the procedure guide, forms and manuals necessary for the ownership of real estate by non-Saudis in accordance with the provisions of the law and the regulations. These shall be approved by decision of the authority's board of directors. What does it mean? It means that after this regulation takes effect and it's finalized, they will start issuing these procedural guides. Probably it's going to be done in Arabic, but if it's done in Arabic, I will translate it into English. They will also issue forms and manuals explaining everything in detail. So it will be as easy as possible for you. You have a question like how can I get this ID number? They will issue a manual for that. You will have a question, how can I open a bank account in Saudi Arabia if I'm not registered in Saudi Arabia as a resident? They will make a manual for it. So everything is going to be described in details according to this article. And article number 15, effective date. These regulations shall come into effect as of the date on which the law becomes effective. So in 20 days, these regulations will come into effect according to the Istitla' portal. So in 15 days, if you go to the official website of the Real Estate General Authority, you will find the finalized version of these regulations, inshallah. So this is what I wanted to mention in this video. Again, this includes the very practical steps on how to own real estate in the future, inshallah, and also states the fee that you will need to pay if you dispose of the real rights, if you sell it, if you transfer to ownership, etc. So yeah, subscribe to the channels and stay connected. I will publish all the new information, inshallah. Every day I check on the new information about the real estate. In the future, you will find lots of videos on my YouTube channel where I will showcase what is actually available on the market. I will start off with Medina city because I reside in Medina, the city of the Prophet ﷺ, and perhaps then I will go to Mecca and Jeddah and make even more videos, inshallah. See you in the next video. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.